Like I can clean my own mirror, man. You won't catch. I get it. You're a finance bro, DL Guigo. You won't catch my ass walking to the galley and being like, "Oh, we're here for a bachelor party. Can I get like 6 more Goose Islands?" Like, no shot, man. You just catch me sitting in the chair looking at my phone playing Slay the Spire or something. You ever press the attendant button? Yeah, but I'm being sincere. Only by accident when I meant to turn the overhead light on. And then you hit it and it goes bing and you're like, "Oh shit, that's the wrong one." And then you press it one more time and then you turn the light on. He's doing it, man. He's doing it. He's doing it. Stay away from that side, please. You're a light user? I'm not a light user, but sometimes, they turn the lights off when you get on the plane. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. And then you're like, I get it, because like you want people to sleep because it's a long flight and maybe we're flying like 15 time zones away or whatever. But like, it's still only 4 p.m. in my brain. So like if my kid wants to do some coloring or something like that, like I'm turning the light on. But I'll tell you 100%, unless I start facing back or knee issues or something like that, you will not catch me using the seat recline. I look at the seat recline basically the same way I look at the shopping cart. If you're much taller than me and you recline, I'll give you a pass. If you're my size or smaller and you recline, I consider you amongst the dregs of society. I think you have a poisoned psyche. How tall are you? 103 centimeters. I cannot ride the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland. Shopping cart? Yeah, you wouldn't know because in Chicago, I'm sure all the grocery stores only have baskets because real estate is very expensive. The shopping cart is the classic test of moral goodness. Do you return your shopping cart to the cart bay after you load your groceries into your car or after you take the bags out and then walk with them? The answer should be yes every time. I don't know what else to say. Are there exceptions? I'm sure there's exceptions. If your kid is about to like run out in traffic and get hit by like a GMC Suburban, then you can just leave the cart wherever. There's bigger priorities, but I bring it back every time, man. Cuz why wouldn't you? But then even then you can see like there's gradations of evilness inside of people. Some people just leave the cart like they'll at least push it off to the side, but they're like, I'm not doing the whole process of bringing it back. That's like 100-foot walk. But I'm not going to leave it in someone's way. I'll just push it like over to the curb or something. But then some people just leave that shit like blocking the parking spot. And you're like, wow, you're actually like a piece of crap. Like you left it much worse than you found it. No! I will say, it pains me to say it, the place where it's hardest to do it, though, is at some of the Costcos around here. Because, like, usually, depending on the time of day that you go, like, if you go close to close, the cart bays are stuffed to the fucking brim. And it presents you with, like, a moral quandary of, like, do I want to... The cart bay's already overflowing and blocking, like, one lane of traffic. Am I going to add one more cart to that? Or am I going to, like, I don't know, sometimes walking it all the way back to the front of the store, you're like, that's like 1,200 steps. So I might just be overstuffing the bay in that case, but there's people whose job it is to get the carts back. Yeah, and there's like janitors in the movie theater as well. I guess before you leave the theater, you should just like, take the lid off your soda and pour it on the ground. Piss on the toilet seat, like leave a big diarrhea shit in the toilet, not flush, put like an entire roll of toilet paper down the drain so that it overflows the toilet. Hey, I'm a job creator. You fucking trying to find like an economic reason to justify your laziness, you disingenuous motherfucker? Doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? Just go through the bare minimum amount of effort to make the world a more hospitable place for everybody around you, man. I'm not asking you to donate like a quarter of your salary to charity or something like that, but like you got the cart from the bay, put the cart back in the bay. They still get those cart wranglers, they still got to do shit. They still got to like, this bay's overflowing. I got to move all the carts out to the other bay or whatever. You've seen them driving like the little trucks and stuff. Hold. There you, okay. Everyone's putting it in the bay where I live. That's aspirational. What if you grabbed a Lucy on the way in? Honestly, I would see that, I'm being sincere, I would see that as an opportunity not to justify laziness, but an opportunity to, instead of leaving the parking lot in a neutral position, I would consider that an opportunity to leave the parking lot in a better position while not putting in any more effort than I normally do anyway. That's a gift from above. That's benediction. You cleaned up a mess in the parking lot, and you didn't even have to go out of your way to do it. Let people live their lives. You could live your life. I'm just saying, like, you're morally like a worse person than the average individual, which is fine. Maybe you're one of those people who's like, this is the way you get ahead in life. In which case, I would love to know like where you're at in life, because it seems like you've had a lot of opportunities to get ahead. You must be crushing it. I can't stop you. Like, I'm not going to tase you if I see you not bring your card back, but I will be like, I'll look at that person. I'll probably never see them again, but I'll look at them and be like, you're weak. Yeah, a little bit. I think by the way, I'm not saying I'm the best person in the world. I think a better person would look at that and say, oh, they're probably in a big rush to do something important. I'll apply that kind of logic to like my friends and family. I'll try to look at their actions in the best possible light because, we always judge ourselves based on our intentions, but we judge others based on their behaviors. I think it's probably good to assume that, everybody's trying to do their best. But a stranger, I'm not a big enough man to extend that kind of courtesy to them. I assume that they are morally compromised, and this is probably the most moral they'll ever be, and the older they get, probably the more selfish they'll become. So I'm actually seeing this husk at the most optimistic possible time to be catching them, which is in and of itself even more depressing. Okay, we were close on that one. Okay, let's go back. Walk me back a little bit. Can you do a funny noise, please? Oh. How's that for you? Also, again, this is not fair, but it doesn't have to be fair because it's just one man's opinion. That kind of makes sense. I feel like you have to hold yourself to a higher standard when you have kids as well. Because, like, you being, like, a ruined person is, like, whatever. What are you going to do? But, like, you can't be, like, a ruined person who's then, like, deliberately raising, like, 3 ruined people. Like, that's Like you're fucking the thing up like exponentially for everybody else, man. Your kids will pick up their own bad habits as they get older. Like don't give them bad habits to start with. That shit is like compound interest, man. Okay, hold, hold, hold. You ever notice my guy's got webbed hands? I guess we've all got webbed hands a little bit. Never really thought about it. My mother was a Belgian prostitute with webbed feet named Chloe. My father would drink, he would womanize, he would make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark. Sometimes he would accuse chestnuts of being lazy, the kind of genius the insane possess and the insane lament. What does he say? Something like that? Something like that? It is a great Carrie Fisher cameo. She is the therapist in Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery. The sort of general malaise the genius possess and the insane lament. My summers were typical. Luge lessons in Rangoon. Hold. I love when you hit someone with the Austin Powers quote and they just hit you with the Basil exposition stare. Second, let me focus on this for a brief moment. You know what's crazy is that Mike Myers is responsible for Austin Powers. I mean, how could he not be? He didn't direct it, but he wrote it and played every role. And he's also responsible for The Love Guru. Now, The Love Guru is only like 10% worse than Austin Powers 1, but that 10% deviation is like enough for Austin Powers 1 to be like a classic and The Love Guru to be one of the worst movies that's ever been made. Like when I watched the Pentaverate, like his Netflix show, I was like, you can tell. It's not like Mike Myers really changed. Like it's the same sort of stuff he's been doing forever. He just got worse at it. Well, see you later, ball. Goodbye. Austin Powers is pretty shit. No, it's actually, the first one's actually pretty good. The second one, I would say the second one is worse, but still pretty good. And Goldmember is definitely horrendous. Like Goldmember for me is almost as bad as The Love Guru. The Love Guru is still worse, but oh, what a bounce, man. The first one is kind of rapey. No, you got it. It's actually, it teaches a valuable lesson about consent. He shuns Vanessa Kensington's advances because she's under the influence of alcohol. People are just saying stuff. Austin Powers, listen, it was the 90s version of the 60s, man. Things were different. No, I don't think Austin Powers is rapey. I do think that he has the kind of sexual virility that you don't often see in the 21st century. He was very open about his desire. He was always asking people, do I make you horny? But he wasn't saying, like, I think it would be worse if he was like, I bet I'm making you horny right now. Like, that's creepy. But I think he was asking earnestly, He was like, do I make you horny? Do I make you... Okay. Now, listen, there was no romantic overtones between him and Vanessa before he propositioned her for the first time by saying, should we shag now or shag later? But I think you can sort of chalk that up to a couple of things. One, him being from a different time period. And then secondarily, him kind of living a different lifestyle as an international man of mystery who women wanted to be with and men wanted to be. I think like he's just having like he's a different lived experience that definitely didn't fit with the more politically correct era of 1997. It's going to stop, man. It just needs a little support here. You're going to have to start at the beginning? I should be so lucky, man. That's where the mountain's easiest. If it goes all the way to the bottom, please change the boulder. You know that you're the wrong one here, right? Like you still have a little bit of cope in your mind that hasn't been killed yet. You're Sisyphus saying, oh, I gotta go talk to fucking Icarus or Apollo or whoever that nerd is and be like, please change the boulder. This one's too hard. It's the same, man. I mean, it's literally harder, but it's the same. You still gotta get the boulder to the top of the mountain. The metallic composition of the boulder, if anything, we should switch to a harder boulder because it would be better for our spirit. We should switch to like a cube or something. Don't. I mean, this motherfucker is going way back. Saved. Oh, man. Wee. Is that why we're replaying this game? We're not replaying this game. We never beat it, man. Because you never can beat it. That's life. It's bigger. Swag Tuesday. We went over that at the start of the stream. Unfortunately, I cannot change the title today. Twitch dedicated the servers that allow you to change the metadata on your stream to serving up Instagram-style stories. I can't really blame them for it. Like, basic functionality of the website is important, but also you got to hit those KPIs. Like, I get it. DL, you know how it is. For all I know, by the way, it might be my browser. So I guess I shouldn't, necessarily... Listen, it worked yesterday, though. And the day before that, I'm assuming, although I wasn't live on Sunday. Oh... You literally never restart. I'll have you know that our power went out on the weekend for 0.1 second, so I did restart. Oh, I think I got it. Do I have to take the bridge on this one? No, not after everything we've been through, man. Through the middle? That's all right. It holds. It holds. Do you at least put it to sleep? Are you asking me if my Jimmy runs deep? It's kind of a personal question. I guess it depends on the pool. You do need to take the bridge. Okay. PewDiePie be like... Regardless. I had a freaky moment today. So I was on the bike and my computer was in I don't know if it's sleep mode, but it was resting at least. It was in standby. And then I was on the bike, like 40 something minutes, and it woke up. My monitors turned on, and they weren't really like doing anything. Then they stayed on for like an hour, and then it went back to sleep. And I was like, what the hell's going on here, man? Windows update? I think it was probably malware bytes being like, really, really for real this time, there's 8 sus files on your computer. Pay us $40 a year and I'll tell you what they are. Microscopic earthquake? Could be. Could have been like someone on a motorcycle outside, I guess. Happens to my phone sometimes. You know what happens to my phone that kind of freaks me out? Some mornings I wake up and I try to unlock it, and it has like the anti-accidental unlock protection on, where instead of putting like the password in, you have to like slide a little circle into like the right spot to prove that you want to open your phone. And I'm like, what the fuck was I doing in my sleep, bro? I must have been trying to like hack myself. Phantom Twitter browsing? I don't know. Maybe. My sleep improved so much by leaving my phone in the kitchen before going to bed. I don't know. Skill difference, never been a problem for me, quite frankly. My sleep quality is 100% determined by whether or not my daughter wakes up screaming 3 times in the night. If she doesn't wake up, it's like 90% plus odds for decent sleep. If she does wake up, it's 100% odds for the sleep to be like totally fucked. You're right, I should leave her in the kitchen overnight. Or in a room of her choosing. It doesn't have to be the kitchen necessarily. Don't take me out of context there. Hold. Maybe she's updating? I think she is. Realize like it takes a long time for like the human brain to get fucking like up to speed, man. Come on. At least give me a little ricochet or something. Thank you, Faint Bunny. Very cool. Very cool. Do different balls behave different, or is it all the same? What do you mean behave different? There's very little ball behavior. They're doing some work behind the scenes. There's no doubt about that. They're sperming up. They're making testosterone and, I don't know, like follicle stimulating hormone or something like that. But like they don't really do much outwardly, you know? It's like a project manager. You know, like if you saw them work, you'd be like, are they even doing anything? But I bet you'd notice them if they were gone. It's a little corporate joke for you. PM reporting in, 100% correct. Love it. I'm a huge hit with project managers. Hold. No, it's slipping. Steve Miller Band when they see time and fly like an eagle. No. Mods, get rid of all the PMs. I'm assuming that PMs serve a valuable purpose. Because you can't just have, like, the engineers build the shit. And no disrespect, they're probably going to make something where, like, the code is insanely good, but then doesn't have like a function for 99.9% of society, man. They'd be like, look at how beautiful the code is on this, but like, I can't buy a winter coat on your website, you know? I can't figure out where the buttons are. I'm a people person. They have to do the interfacing, right? Between the customer or the client and the engineers. Listen, I'm really not ragging on engineers. But I will say when I was taking programming classes and I had to take a class on project management to get my diploma, it was one of those things where I was like, we shouldn't have to take this class, because every class was like, say someone that's not in engineering shares their opinion on like what the project should look like. How would you respond? And I was like, obviously you should respond with human decency, but like kind of like be like, yeah, we'll talk about it, and then just not do it. But then like every other person in the class who was an aspiring computer programmer was like, I would tell them to stay in their own lane where they have knowledge in the domain, and then the teacher would have to be like, you can't do that in like a corporate environment. You're gonna make people uncomfortable. You're gonna hurt people's feelings and stuff like that. It was like I before taking the class, I had no idea why we had to take it. After taking the class, I was like, I see that they probably added this because companies like hired grads out of the school, and then we're like, they don't know how to talk to people. they keep insulting everybody else who works at the company in a non-engineering context. Fun class though. And also the other engineers. Yeah, I could believe it. Same reason doctors are socially inept. Well, listen, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that 100%, but I could understand. I think that with doctors, again, there's some in my extended family. I wish I had more experience with them, but they don't really want to talk to me even when I want to make appointments, apparently. I think the doctor trap is being like so highly educated and like marinated by society that it has like a bleed every fucking time. It has like a bleed effect on your own perception of your own intelligence, and you think you become like an expert in everything. I feel like if you are friends or like you have a working relationship or something with a doctor in a non-medical context, you probably can relate to the struggle of trying to explain to a doctor that just because they're really smart and good at like medical stuff doesn't mean they know everything about like portfolio management or like the economy or like urban planning or because like you had to get really smart. You had to be really smart to like get into med school, get through med school. You had to work really hard to get through your, residency and stuff like that. Like I get it, but streaming is like the exact opposite. I basically think I can't do anything, which I think is a very healthy place to be at because, it leads you asking questions like, can you bottom from the top? Like, can you be a dom that's bottoming in reverse cowgirl when you're the one laying on the bed? Like this, I'm still trying to work the kinematics of it out in my mind. Not again, man! Brother, go more right. Okay, Nick Merckx, I see you. We won't be taking that advice today, but you never know. If enough people stop watching Sisyphus, it's a living, right? Let me squeeze through here. Hold. You're kind of topping from the bottom in this game right now? What do you mean by that? Kind of topping from the bottom in this game right now. You're not expanding on that. Bottom top is spatial. Dom sub is psychological. I don't know, man. I gotta think about it more. And then we gotta throw in the thruple stuff. Is it possible to have 3 subs in a thruple? Is it possible to have 2 doms and 1 sub? Is it possible to have 2 subs and 1 dom? That seems like the most natural arrangement, I guess. Anything's possible? This shit is getting complicated. It's like when you buy combo 1 at the movie theater, and they're like, you can pick any candy as long as it's from the top 2 rows. I'm like, I don't know, man. Is there any chance you could move some of the yummy candy to the top 2 rows, or is it all just chocolate-covered raisins? 3 DOMs. Like, I'm not saying you can't do it, but I feel like that would be a tough dynamic, right? You'd be like, no, you get on your knees, pet, or whatever they say. That would be hard, man. That's just wrestling. Oh, man. That's tough. I also feel like 3 subs would be really tough in a relationship. Like, who gets to choose where you're going to eat dinner? Got 3 motherfuckers that are like, are you craving something? Is there anything I can get you for dinner? Like, wouldn't you just starve? Stop. What? Is it too real? Subs don't equal bottoms? No, I know, man. But like if there's a dom and a sub, the dom chooses what to eat for dinner, right? At least 5 nights a week. Not always. I mean, buddy, if your sub's choosing what you eat for dinner, then they're the dom. It's only for sex. It's not for food. It's not for like who drives the car. I just like if I was a dom, I don't think I could feel authentic being a dom and then having my sub drive me places. The dom has to drive the car, bro. That just makes sense to me. What are you talking about? I don't know. It just feels weird to be like, they're supposed to be submissive to you, but they're the one, driving you. They're the one who gets to choose where the car goes and how it goes there. Like, that just doesn't seem right to me, man. Just doesn't seem right. I'm saying, listen, people have been in these kind of arrangements for like many years. It sounds like you fuckers need to ask some more questions. Because, like, I'm asking questions and you're going like, it doesn't work like that. Seems like you got to have like a council and figure this shit out. So who drives between you and Kate? Well, that's where it gets tricky because I drive, but she chooses what we're going to eat for dinner. So I don't know. I think we're like in a very modern relationship where we're both on like equal footing. But maybe some people are more equal than others. That's called a switch. All right, apparently that's called a switch. I don't know about that. I'll have to take your word for that. I thought switch was like a top and bottom thing, not a dom sub thing. That's a verse. What the fuck? You're thinking of a verse? J Rock on Money Trees? It's all very confusing. Why are you so curious? I don't know, because there's like 8 billion people on planet Earth and they all are living like different ways. I kind of like see the world around me, and one of my first thoughts is like, why are they doing it like this instead of like that? And then I ask them questions about it to figure out how they got there. No shame in learning. Sex Aristotle. Oh, man. Hold. That's not fast enough. We're going to have to hold here for a second. Whatever. Calmer than you are. Go, 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 go. I could just ask, like, I feel like of all my friends, Chibley would be the one that I could ask about this stuff. But he just, you know, he's on New Zealand time, so it's very inconvenient for both of us. You should take the BDSM quiz. I'm good, honestly. It's already, like, it's complicated enough in there, man. I don't want to start adding, you know, like, fucking sailor's knots and tools and stuff like that. I gotta get, like, a shed. It just doesn't... I'm still trying to wrap my head around, like, the basic mechanics, honestly. No! I got impatient! You're 100% a brat tamer. Oh, man. I guess I could infer what it means. I don't think I'm that. I don't know, maybe. I don't know what is. Maybe like at the grill, I could tame some brats. You could be a brat? I don't think I'm a brat, honestly. I think I'm just like a guy. You gotta pick something? I had no idea. I guess I gotta take the quiz. Whoops. Oh, they're passing it back and forth. It's Xabi Alonso? They were doing some tiki-taka in the midfield? It's all very complicated. That's all I'm saying. I'm learning a lot, though. It just takes time. I gotta watch like some movies like real cinematic films. Like I would love to see a movie about like a dom who has chronic premature ejaculation, because I feel like that would be like there would be some interesting emotions to kind of like tease there. What is wrong with you? I'm like interested in the inherent contradiction, man. of like a top who's sexually dominant, but also he comes like as soon as he puts it in? What's the contradiction? Well, you know. It's kind of problematic to spread the idea that it's bad for a dom to have premature ejaculation. I'm just saying it's like, you know, if LeBron James was like, I'm gonna take over this game, like we're gonna win this series, I'm gonna close him out, and then he fouls out in like, 3 minutes in the first quarter, you'd be like, well, you talk the talk, but I better see some good off-season like workout videos to make up for this, because I'm not trying to dick shame. I'm just saying that would be an interesting movie to see. Maybe Joseph Gordon-Levitt could be in it or whatever. Jesse Plemons, how could that be profitable for Frito-Lay? I don't know. Maybe it's not my domain. This is the most genuinely offended I've ever seen chat, though, so I know I'm onto something. Art is meant to be subversive. Get it twisted? It's good that it offends you. I've seen Bros. Don't tell me I'm not an ally. Have you seen Bros? Yeah, did you watch it on an airplane? I don't think so. I saw it in a theater. That's a safe space. The theater is the arena. Did you see Bottoms? Not yet. I got to see Shiva Baby first. Just takes a minute. It just takes a minute. He's Rachel Senat posting. This is Rachel Sen. Borat watching Shiva Baby. This is nothing. Let's see where it goes. This is Rachel Senat. This is... Yeah, okay. Dave Chappelle Rowan. There you go. You're working on something there. That's like the last puzzle Pat Sajak had on Wheel of Fortune before he blanked himself. Retired himself. Anna Kendrick Lamar. Okay, yeah, there's something to that. Kanye West of Loathing. You're not throwing up, are you? LeBron James Harden Metapod. Oh, man. You see that interview with Dick Van Dyke? That motherfucker is like 99 years old. He looks like he could run a half marathon. No? I just saw a clip of it on Twitter. He's alive? He's alive and looking great, man. I mean, he's looking old. He doesn't look 99, though. He looks like 80, which is like fucking aspirational when you're 99. Like, most old people, they reach a point where, like, if you make it to 99, you look like 200. Holy shit, he looks 65. He's got a lot of hair, yeah. What age do you think you'll live to? I think I got a shot to slightly beat the male average. I'm going to say 81. That's progress, because if you asked me when I was like 19, I would have been like forever, for sure. Forever, man. They're going to crack the eternal life code, I'm pretty sure. 46 years left? Yeah, this sounds about right. I thought the male average was 83. POV, you live in the mountains in Kyushu, Japan. That's all I got. We're not making it to 60 in this bitch. I'm not trying. Listen, you can lose the lottery, okay? Or I guess in this case, because the odds are pretty low, it's like winning like the worst lottery. You can win the worst lottery, and get hit by a bus or a disease, etc., etc. But there's still like some, like if you go out into society, there's some fucking ran through 60-year-olds, man. There's 60-year-old, like lifelong smokers, like alcoholics and stuff like that. People who did not take care of themselves at all, worked like dangerous jobs and stuff like that. I feel like the average person can pretty easily make it to 60, barring those like, catastrophic and relatively rare events. It seems like after you get, 65, 70, 75, that's where it really starts to, I mean, you can't, Father Time's undefeated. Let's just put it that way. You think you'll be ran through by 70? Depends if the Cialis prescription comes through. I'm aspiring to be, I hope. You could be ran through in like a monogamous relationship, right? I think that's just called romance. What do you mean by that? I mean exactly what I implied. Spiritually. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I don't think you understand the term. It's like when you're ridden hard and put away wet. Yes, okay, he gets it. Thank you. That old chestnut. How does this geezer know that? That's like the expression, when people my parents' age would like say someone looks bad for their age, they would say something like, it looks like they were ridden hard and put away wet. That's not like an invention of the modern day. I'm pretty sure that shit's from like, 1906 or something. Whee! Sick 50-50. Thank you. Me to Meredith Vieira on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. No one's ever said that, though, because it's the worst lifeline. I mean, what happened to my ball, bro? Question marks? What are you talking about, man? It's the best lifeline? You're insane. I know we've done this before, but like tier list for lifelines, if you have to burn a lifeline because you don't know the answer to one of the first 7 questions, ask the audience is goated. The wisdom of crowds will tend to carry you through on the questions that like you just have a gap in knowledge on, but are relatively easy. Then the goated lifeline is phone a friend, but there's a lot of skill involved because you've got to know which friend to call for which question. So phone a friend is like a scalpel. Like as long as you use it appropriately, it has high upside. 50-50 is the worst because usually they always say something like, oh, I've got it down to between 2 answers, so I'm going to use my 50-50. And then when they use the 50-50, it takes away the 2 answers that are obviously wrong. So like it tends to not simplify the question on average, if I had to guess. I see why chat doesn't like phone a friend, though. What are you trying to say, NL? You don't know their numbers. You only know them by Discord contacts because you've never met them in real life. Tried to pull it back, but I think I made it worse. Yeah, that could be a good sketch. Millennial on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but all of their contacts never pick up their phone. Thanks for that. That seems bad. Name the 3 Musketeers real quick. Okay, you got D'Artagnan. That's a gimme. I always forget the other ones. Blanche and Rum Tum Tugger, I think, are the other 2. Shemp. We have 49 minutes. I can definitely make it back to the ice, man. You guys see the Reddit post where the guy was like, let me tell you how I owned a chat at my school today? And then he went on to describe his outfit, which was the exact clothes that Minecraft Steve wears. And then a kid at his school said, check it out. This guy's dressed like Minecraft Steve. And then the Minecraft Steve said, yes, well, at least Minecraft Steve has more swag than Soldier Boy, who you appear to be dressed as. And then it ended with, needless to say, I was feeling pretty good for the rest of the day. I know it's fake, but at least it's like funny fake instead of all the like r/relationship posts that are like, you know, trying to slowly make all women hate men and all men hate women through some kind of like, I don't know, psyop. I don't know who's running it, Cambridge Analytica or something. What do you mean by that? Well, every post on r/relationship advice that goes huge is some obviously fake thing where like the first post is like, I was going to the toilet and I heard a notification sound. Am I paranoid? And then like the update is like, I found a phone duct taped to the back of the toilet tank where my boyfriend was talking to like 9 different girls on dating apps. And now I confronted him and we broke up. And I'm like, what? This shit did not happen, man. Are you dating like Anton Chigurh? He's got a burner phone Velcro strapped to in the worst hiding spot of all time, so he can sext on the shitter. Like it just doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't pass the smell test. Top or bottom, call it. All Sorry, it was a double flusher. I'm not saying nothing ever happens. I'm just saying that did not happen. And if you read those posts like once a day for 6 months, I do think it'll affect your brain chemistry in a way that will like make you hate people more. You think Sisyphus ever took like a jerk off break? I'll just be honest with you. Assuming there was no like punitive measure, if this was really me and I was trapped in like this purgatorial kind of situation, every time I drop the rock, I'm jerking off. Because that's my break time just started. Like, why wouldn't I? Would you drop the ball on purpose? I mean, it's fucked up to say this. Like, I'm a huge loser. I think I would not drop the ball on purpose. I take this responsibility very seriously. That being said, I still think my shit would be chafed up by the end of the day. I don't need any help dropping the ball, clearly.